And it's gotta be Cinnamon Toast Crunch, yeah. That's the only thing that's soothing my soul. Turn on the TV to Power Rangers, yeah. Now it's morphin' time, I'm ready to go.
Hello, this is Bill Riddick, graduate of North Carolina A&T. No, I can't even bring myself to say that. But I can tell you that as a professor at Shaw University, I was responsible for bringing whites and blacks together in the new movie, Best of Enemies. I'm here with the Color Commentary crew where they give you, views from a different side or something like that. And now if I could just channel my inner Ann Atwater concerning our show here. You may not like our show, but you damn sure better listen to what we have to say. Excuse me, I don't know what came over me right there. We're going to have a charrette real quick where we're going to have two opposing views and let them talk about things and work it out. Let's go ahead and get our first guest on, Mr. Chuck Taylor. He's representing the Black Empowerment Movement. How you doing there, sir?
What? What's the little symbol? I don't even know. West side? Oh, sorry. Anyways, I'm doing good, guys. But yeah, I'm here with KFH Party Easy. I'm ready to view. We got a few movies tonight, so I can't wait to get into it. Have I guess a few different type of opinions about the movies. I can't say I love everything about what we saw, but I'm ready to go. What about you?
All right, I'm ready to go as well, sir. From the other side here, we have someone that is representing the NAACP. So completely different sides, completely different angles here.
My name is Frank Puna, and Mr. Riddick, I'm glad you brought me on the show. And Charlie, I'm glad you brought me on the show as well. And I'm ready to represent the NAACP. Thank you for bringing me on the Color Commentary show.
Fantastic. And of course, I'm Rashad Waters, the owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, the company that sells you music and instruments to marching bands all across the nation. Let's get into this movie here. The movie Best of Enemies depicts the true story of civil rights activist Ann Atwater as she goes up against C.P. Ellis, the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, for school integration. The movie actually takes place right here in my hometown and where I am right now, Durham, North Carolina. So I was very excited to see this movie. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Mr. Chuck Taylor, what you want to say about this movie? Oh, by the way, guys, this is the non-spoiler review, so we're not going to give away a lot of information. Just, tell us your overall thoughts.
No problem. Let's see. Like you, I'm a Durhamite, so I'm also in Durham. So I'm pretty shocked to see that we had a movie about Durham. I was like, something happened in Durham that was worth making a movie on besides baseball. It's like, okay, I didn't know any of these people existed before the movie.
The movie Along Came a Spider took place in Durham. That's where a bunch of people get murdered.
Oh, I don't know if I watched that one. When did that come out?
Early 2000s, maybe. Morgan Freeman.
That was a North Carolina. I actually think I did see it now. They said Morgan Freeman was in it. But yeah, back to what I was talking about. So I mean, this movie, Best of Enemies. It was cool to actually see a story that was happened in the city I grew up in. Seeing the different struggles that my family and my mother and father and grandparents and them had to go through. Sometimes I kind of forget when we see these movies and we always think like Mississippi and Texas and someplace else, where you have all these type of big racial movies, and you don't really think about right outside of your backyard. And like, oh yeah, my family went through the same thing with integration and and racism and not being able to drink at the same water fountain, go to the same stores, eat at the same restaurants, all that type of thing. And just thinking about like, wow, they don't even talk about it anymore. So it's hard to, I guess we kind of just forget about those type of things. But this movie definitely helps you to relate to, what the time was like. And was it 1971 when it took place?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of brings you right back in that time. Like, wow, it's a lot. Like we kind of think about slavery, and then we think about, like Martin Luther King, and then we kind of forget about everything else. But things were still happening all over the country. And this, seeing this story brought to light just kind of shines kind of makes you understand that this was real. This is real. Everybody that was older had to go through this, and seeing the way that they use the two characters, Taraji and what's the
Sam
white character?
Rockwell.
Sam.
Justin Hammer.
What is that?
Justin.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I know him from somewhere because I just actually watched Iron Man 2 the other night, trying to complete the series before Endgame. But yeah, Justin Hammer. But yeah, they did their thing. I really enjoyed them. They both act. I mean, you can definitely tell that they understand how to be emotional in a film. Like they don't even have to talk. Especially Taraji, she can just give you the look of death.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm like every aunt that or grandmother give you that look, like you just kind of just freeze up inside, like, okay, I need to just not do this. She might kill me, literally. So I've been working on that look. I can't get my kids to think of that look. Every time I try to give them a look like that, it's like, just throw something and just do it anyway. But this is not working here. They think I'm a joke. I need to learn this.
You have to be a woman
to teach me.
What's going on?
Like, learn the look. Teach my wife, learn that look. But yeah, they acted. Their acting was awesome. I guess the main thing that I can really say without really giving away a lot of the details in it, I felt that it was kind of borderline what we've been getting with some of these racial movies, with them kind of having a one-sided opinion, giving the mainly the white characters, what I'm talking about, more of the shine in the movie, like more of the backstory. I guess going after seeing the movie, I don't really know that much more from her point of view. What was her? I always want to say Taraji, but the actual actor
Anne Atwater.
Anne Atwater. So like I didn't know very much about Anne Atwater. I know she existed. I'm sorry, I didn't really know the history, but I don't know that much more about her now. After seeing the movie, they don't really give you that much details. They kind of just show you where she is. They don't really develop her. But I mean, I understand she's she's for housing, and she's a civil rights activist. But they don't really give you like the backstory, like really why she's doing what she's doing, why she's so passionate about it. What crazy things that happened to her that made her focus that this needs to be, something that needs to change. They kind of go more on the other side, but that he has family. He's focused on his beliefs and how he became this particular way. You see people that he's related to, so you kind of go when I kind of looking at the film, it's just kind of like, man, I wish they would have gave it a little bit more on the other side to really complete the arc of the movie. It really portrayed, I mean, I guess the time, in 1971. I don't know exactly where it was shot and filmed, but it definitely, with the way the hairdos, the cars, the way they dress and talk, everything, made you feel that was that point in time, even though they just shot it, last year. So they did a really good job with, the core, with the attire and the makeup and everything. And they made Taraji look like old grandma. Was right. I mean, after seeing her in what's the last movie? What Men Want? And just like, whoa. And then like, oh gosh, Taraji. So I give the movie a decent grade. I would support it just because, it's Durham project. It's talking about our history. But it still falls on the line of some of the other movies that came out. I'll probably get a little bit more into it in our spoiler review. But what about you guys?
All right, so that's from the Black Empowerment movement there. So let's see what the NAACP has to say about this movie. Mr. Frank Puna, what are your feelings, sir?
Thanks again for having me on the show. And yeah, this movie, just like with Charlie, it really hit home with me. Seeing a movie that's actually set in Durham, and they're saying the name Durham in the movie. That was pretty cool. Yeah. One of the actors, I forgot his name, the character name in the movie, but he was coming from Shaw University in Raleigh, and I'm originally from Raleigh. You're a professor. I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, Bill Riddick.
Bill Riddick. Right. So, I got my bachelor's degree and master's degree there. So I spent a great deal of time in Durham, lived in the city. done some community service out there, had a couple of jobs out there as well. So it was very exciting to see a piece of history that of Durham that I didn't know too much about. And you know, upon doing the research and seeing it on YouTube more with Ann Waters and this whole story, it was very captivating. I was really excited and hyped going in to see this movie, to see what it's about. Also, one of the producers is Tobey Maguire, you know, the original Spider-Man. So I'm like, oh, Spider-Man, producers behind this movie, Tobey Maguire. I was like, okay, yeah, I came into the movie theater with a lot of energy, and I thought the acting was pretty good, especially from oh my gosh, forgot her name right off the bat. Who played there? Yeah, but I love the soundtrack. There was only like 3 soundtracks, but I did leave home. You know, listen to Al Green. I'm so tired of being alone, so I love that soundtrack. There was a couple of Clap Your Hands. I love that soundtrack on the movie. The cars was definitely time specific, especially the clothing. The clothing was great. There was a lot of scenes out there. I was just glad that, you know, the movie was in you know, that took place in North Carolina. So I was definitely hyped about that. It seemed like it was very fast paced. I don't know if the pace fit with what the story was going on there with it, but I think we'll get to expound on that some more. So I'll go ahead and let you take over the set here.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see what I have to say about this movie. Let me go ahead and actually get back to my notes here. Oh yeah, man. I really enjoyed this movie, and to me, this movie is all about Taraji. I think she is fantastic as a main character. She's got so much range, man. I remember I posted something recently about her, and somebody on Reddit was saying, "Oh, she doesn't have very much range." Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're lying to me right now. Taraji has more range than almost any actress out there right now. I mean, it was so interesting to see her play this type of role because, you know, you just looked at What Men Want. I didn't see Acrimony, but she was in there too. Yeah. But you know, What Men Want and Proud Mary, and both of these characters are very strong, but very sexy characters. You know, a part of their strength comes from how they carry themselves with that sexiness, you know, and they're also kind of fun-loving in a way, particularly more so the main character in What Men Want. When you watch this one, like, they stripped away all the sexiness, all of the attractiveness whatsoever. I mean, they make her have this scowl on her face all the time, and she has this angry walk, and you know, she ain't trying to be sexy. She's trying to be in your face, you know, and tell you what's what. You know, boobs are hanging. You know, I mean, it's just he's just a completely different type of character. So Charlie muted his mic, so I don't know if he was laughing on that one or not. But yes. I thought that Sam Rockwell did a good job on that one too. I'll get into it a little bit during the spoiler review about his characters. A couple things that, being from the South, I recognize that other people wouldn't. But I thought they both did an admirable job, particularly Taraji. There's a lot of comparison to me with this movie with Black Klansman, because, you know, it's black people and the Klansmen. But
shut up.
You know, I actually like this movie better than that movie. All the Black Klansmen. Excellent movie. I like this movie better. I really like to see what was happening. Let me see here. I'm glad that you mentioned the whole thing about not seeing both sides of it. And again, I'll get into more of that during the spoiler review. Me personally, I understand why it was like that. Because Sam Rockwell character, as a part of the KKK, he's the obvious villain. And the only way that he can make the transition from being where he was to where he ends up is that you have to spend time with him. What's the name? Taraji Henson's character is more like Captain America. Like, she's good, and you know that she's good, and you understand where she's coming from. So although they could have explored more about her, I don't think it was necessary in order to tell to this particular story. Versus with the KKK guy, you're like, why would you watching this movie? Why would you ever side with someone like that? I mean, he's a hateful guy. Why would you side with him? So you need to see those things so you can kind of understand him a little bit. But I really enjoyed the movie. I definitely would recommend it to anyone. My only real complaint is the pacing at the beginning is really, really good. It's funny at points, but as it gets towards the end and it's a little bit more serious, it takes out some of that humor. It starts to drag a little bit, just a little bit. But if you can get through that, I think it's a really good movie. I think you'll feel good at the end. Interesting point: none of the movie was shot in Durham. Not a bit. I was looking. I said, "Is that Durham?"
No, Durham was completely different. They haven't remodeled Durham. You won't find any place in Durham that, well, at least in the city part, that looks like it did in 1971.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I kept looking back. So, well, Rashad, you can't look back through time, so it's not Durham. But it was cool. But yeah, so Chuck, should people see this movie?
I think you definitely should see the movie. I think one thing that I guess I have a mixed feeling. So you can pay to see it, but sometimes when we pay to go see these type of movies, are we really telling them we want something different in like the directing and writing, like a better story, something that's going to involve both parties? I don't want them to. So it's like I want you to go support it because it has my girl Taraji in it and it's about Durham. But then I also want things to be changed, so I might want them to stop bringing these same type of cookie cutter movies out with one-sided opinions, and we all cheer for the person that learned something at the end. I kind of want them to do a little bit more with kind of like how Remember the Titans. That's a great movie to compare like both sides type of thing. But yeah, I definitely say go ahead and check it out. Make your own opinion about it. Don't take my word for it or any other guys here. Go ahead and check it out for yourself because it definitely has some great acting. And it's a good story. It's a good story about America and how people grew.
And make sure you watch it actually at the movie theater because just like every other Taraji Henson movie and pretty much every other black movie that's come out, it is not online right now.
Not online.
We tried.
Multiple times.
Yeah, you want to see it, you need to spend the money on this. Frank, should people see this movie?
Should people see this movie? I have mixed feelings as well. There's a part of me says, support the movie. This is a part of history here. It's a part of Durham. There's black people that work on the movie sets in this movie. There's people who work hard on this set. The movie wasn't horrible. It definitely wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen of all time or anything like that. I can't even put it close to that list. But there's also a part of me where it seemed rushed. It seems like everything was, we want to tell you the story, but we want to tell you the long story short version of the story. Mm-hmm. Here's it. And it's like you can't rush that kind of history, that kind of power, that kind of influence. In addition, I like to see what a lot of people was thinking in the movie, like the kids. The kids were also suffering, through this movie, but we didn't get to see a lot of what they were thinking. There was a lot of points in the movie where we saw the villain himself and his cohorts, go through their rambunctious activities. But we didn't see a lot of what was going on the other side. As Charlie mentioned earlier, Charlie has a lot of points that, for me being on the opposing side is kind of difficult to even disagree with them. So yeah, the mixed feelings I have is definitely go see the movie because it is a part of history. And Taraji puts on a spectacular performance with the limited script she had. I mean, and there was a part of me like I wanted to know was the main characters in real life was her diction, was her vocabulary capacity limited? Was that something they threw in the movie itself? But Taraji did. It was some stereotypical jaw jacking there. A lot of dialogue that left me like, okay, are y'all going to add more details to that? I want to know more. But with the limited script she had, she was still amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was still amazing. All that to say is, yeah, definitely go see the movie.
Okay. So it looks like overall we've got some favorable opinions on the movie. You know, still some things in Hollywood we want to change, but overall very favorable. So if you you should go see that. You should also watch our spoiler review. And of course, we'll go ahead and end this show, because if you like what we did, make sure to give us a like. Make sure to leave a comment here. Let's talk about our new guest, Frank Puna. How did he do today? Let's see. Did he represent the NAACP very well? We'll find out. Maybe he'll share this video with his people and they can jump on and say, Frank was awesome. He's amazing. Best ever. As usual, you got to subscribe to the live. This, of course, is Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side. Peace.
And it's gotta be